Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Paranormal Tea, where we go over the local and not so local legends originating in a town near you. I am your host Bree, and I will be holding your precious little hands through these folk tales and supernatural wonders. So grab your popcorn, your ghost busting kits, and your flashlights as we take a ride to Paranormal Town. Next in our Florida series, we talk about our love of dolls. No, I'm not talking about the cute, dainty dolls that we give to children to help fuel their imaginations. Not the stuffed animals that we give in order to give smiles or comfort to people. No, I am talking the straight up scary and malevolent in nature. In particular, the scariest, most haunted doll in the Floridian area. That's right, we're heading down to Key West and visiting our friend Robert the Doll in all his 100 years of haunting glory. Some of you may have thought, oh, she must be talking about Annabelle. No, not yet at least. Oh, we will get to the Annabelle doll here shortly, but let's stick to Robert as this story is one of interesting origins as well as haunting. Now, there are some differences with regards as to how Jean or Robert Otto came to possess Robert. Some say that his grandfather brought him back from a trip to Germany as a gift. Others say that the family maid, who was gifted in, I quote, the arts, gave the doll to Jean as a gift on his birthday. I want not to confuse anyone going forward, I will address Robert Otto as Jean, as that's mainly how he was answering, to people calling to him. Anywho, Robert can be described as a straw doll that is dressed in a sailor suit. He has small, black, beady eyes, scars all over his body, and a small, malevolent smile. Another story suggests that Robert was made from the Steiff Company, which is coincidentally the same company that made Theodore Roosevelt's doll, and was more likely made as more of a window display and was never actually meant to be sold. So which of these stories do you believe about the origin of Robert? Sound off down below. I personally think he was made and given to him by the maid, but that's just me. So Jean had a very unhealthy relationship with Robert the doll. He would carry the doll everywhere with him and even talked about the doll in first person. It was almost as though he was talking about a real person whenever he would speak about Robert. His family, of course, thought nothing of it, just, another kid's imagination, until they overheard the conversations that Jean and Robert would have in his room. Jean would talk, of course, but then the voice that answered was not that of their son. They brushed that off, and I have no clue how they did that part, but they also noticed other things happening around them. They would hear footsteps running up and down the stairs and a lot of giggling, and it definitely was not coming from Jean. Some family members even reported seeing Robert smile and speak. Toys would be mutilated, and mysterious things would happen around the house. It even got so bad to the point where Jean would wake up in the middle of the night screaming in terror. They would try to get the door open, but it was locked in true paranormal style. And once they finally did get that door open, they saw Jean sitting on his bed in fear and his room completely trashed. He stated through tears that Robert had done this. It was Robert's fault, as Robert sat sitting at the foot of his bed. The family got so worried that they locked Robert up in the attic. But this did not stop his reign of terror, oh no. The family reported pacing back and forth in the attic and giggling and laughing at all times of the day and night. Even the neighbors reported seeing Robert in various windows around the house. It is here in the attic that Robert stayed on and off until about 1994. The passing of Jean's parents meant that he inherited the family mansion. He was an artist at this time, and he would paint and be more to himself. And of course, he would be painting along with Robert. When he married Anne, she knew what was up with Robert and wanted him put away upstairs, out of sight, out of mind. The doll just made her super uncomfortable, and she felt really creepy about the relationship that Jean had with this doll. Jean would do this over and over again several times because Robert did not want to be left up in that attic and would be actually seen sitting by the window in a rocking chair in the second floor bedroom. Some say Jean's wife died from the insanity of it all. Maybe she had a panic attack or a heart attack from just getting frightened and surprised and shocked all the time. Others say that Jean died with Robert right beside him. In 1974, a woman by the name of Myrtle Reuter, I hope I'm saying her name right, purchased the Otto home. It was a bed and breakfast at this time, and even then, she too inherited Robert, like a 2-for-1 deal. Visitors to this home would hear that same pacing back and forth in the home attic, and if anyone said anything, and I do mean anything bad about Jean, it is said that his facial expressions would change and that things would just happen around the house. Myrtle even claimed that Robert would be able to move around the house on his own, and when she couldn't take it anymore after 20 years, she donated Robert to his forever home, which is the Fort East Martello Museum. Now, here at this museum, Robert is a pretty big celebrity. He has been seen on TV shows, had his aura photographed, and he is even featured on a ghost tour. He inspired a movie as well named Robert in 2015, which sadly did not do so well, as it has a 3.1 rating out of 10. If you'd like to see what the movie is about, I will link the trailer here so that you can go ahead and see the masterpiece that was the movie Robert. You can even buy t-shirts, replica dolls, books, and even coasters. He has a fan page on Facebook as well. People can and do absolutely write to him and leave him gifts such as candy, cards, money, and even the occasional joint. And just as a PSA, the museum absolutely hates this, guys, because they are, of course, a museum, so please do not send Robert no more joints. While it is great that you may want to visit Robert the doll himself, there are a few things you should definitely keep in mind. Always, and I do mean always, be as respectful as you can when visiting Robert. Ask permission before you take his photo. Don't say anything rude or crude to him or about Jean and his family. And most importantly, don't disrespect Robert in any way, shape, or form. There is a reason that of the 1,000 letters that Robert gets, it sometimes contains someone wanting Robert to hex someone out of revenge. Things just sort of happen to people who disrespect Robert, and I don't mean good things. They say he has caused car accidents, broken bones, people losing their jobs and getting divorced, and so on and so forth. Nothing Robert loves more than a good skeptic, as they all come running back with letters wanting forgiveness and to remove any hex that he may have put upon them. I mean, he's been doing this for 111 years. He's had plenty of time to perfect his art. To this day, Robert continues to instill fear and discomfort to visitors and museum staff alike. Visit him at the East Martello Fort Museum, if you dare. That's going to do it for this episode of Paranormal Tea. I hope you guys have enjoyed hearing the story of paranormal mischievousness. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, be safe out there, friends.